Hi, this is Bill, and you are on Finest Travel Beat with Angela and Bill. On today's video, we're going to take you on a full ship tour of the amazing Celebrity Beyond. As always, we're going to show you all parts of the ship. We'll walk through, we'll tell you about the ship, and also give you some important information to help you decide if the Beyond is right for you, and also to maximize your time if you are booked on the Celebrity Beyond. Hi everybody, thank you again for watching. We hope you enjoy this video as much as we enjoyed cruising on the Celebrity Beyond. Now, to get you started, the Celebrity Beyond was built in 2022. It's a fairly large ship with 141,000 tons and has 1,646 staterooms. They have a passenger capacity of 3,950 passengers and 1,400 crew. The Beyond is probably most famous for the captain that recently left Celebrity, Kate McHugh. Captain Kate has a huge Instagram following, and a lot of people actually sailed on the Beyond to sail with her. Unfortunately, on our sailing, she wasn't on the Beyond, and she's since left Celebrity Cruise Lines, so to speak, that ship has sailed. We're going to start you off on deck 3 towards the aft of the ship. Now, as you know, on most ships, the restaurants are generally in the back of the ship. Theaters are generally in the front. On the Celebrity Beyond and on the Celebrity Edge class ships, their restaurants are a little bit different. In here, we are in the Normandy dining room. Rather than having one large dining hall, they actually have 4 different restaurants that appear almost like larger specialty restaurants. On deck 3 is the Normandy restaurant, which is French-inspired. Across, you'll see in a minute, is Tuscan, which is Italian-inspired in general, and there's a couple more restaurants upstairs, but the menus are pretty much the same, except for generally there might be a additional entree or additional appetizer, or maybe one of each, that's a little more French-inspired or Italian-inspired in these restaurants, depending on the theme. But you can go to any one of these restaurants any night, sit down. Angela and I ended up on this ship in the Cyprus restaurant almost every night, and you can get anything from any of the restaurants in the particular dining room. The reason why we went there most nights is it was a longer cruise, and we found a fantastic waiter. Took real good care of me every night. Double orders a shrimp cocktail for appetizer, so we just kept going back there and really enjoyed it. Now, walking forward, here's a kind of a neat little feature. They left part of the hull area here, like kind of artwork, open. It's not the wall of the ship, but they didn't cover this up. And some of the people that built the ship actually did a little bit of graffiti, signed their names on there. So they kind of left that open as a tribute, I guess, to the people that built the ship. Continuing on here, this area over here used to be the eye lounge. Now, the eye lounge has shifted up to, I believe it's deck 4. You'll see it a little bit later in the video. You will go up to the photo gallery or the area next to the photo gallery on deck 4. So this area, they just kind of have showcases where they show you some of the things that you can purchase on the ship. But more importantly, on this level is guest relations. It's a little bit off the side. This seems to be a trend with the newest ships. Rather than putting guest relations right in the middle of the atrium, they have guest relations maybe on a lower floor, a little bit off to the side, so the lines, when they're all lines, don't get in the way. They were fantastic, very helpful. Any problems you have, they can help you out. There was never a line for us. Speaking of guest relations, I tell you this every video, check your onboard account regularly. Make sure it's accurate. If you have any issues, go there early. And if you can, try to avoid guest relations the first day of the cruise and definitely the last night of the cruise. That's when it's the most crowded. We'll now take you into the Grand Plaza area. This is the wow factor. This is spectacular. It's breathtaking. Right there is Martini Bar. The Martini Bar tended to get very, very crowded when it was in use. This particular video was filmed on a New Year's Day earlier in the morning, so everybody is pretty much in bed already or in bed getting ready for the night's festivities. But here they'll do flair bartending, cocktails, throwing their drinks around. Really, really fun show that they put on here. And this is a great place to spend a little bit of time. Now, this particular cruise, as I said, was over Christmas and New Year's, and it also happened to be a Panama Canal cruise with stops in the ABC Islands. So as the video goes on, we'll briefly touch on that, and we'll have other videos out on, definitely on the Panama Canal and kind of what it's like to sail on Christmas. I just wanted to point out the location of the Kids Club, Camp at Sea, that is also on Deck 3. All the way forward, you have to kind of go through some stateroom areas to get to there. It's near the elevator bank. Taking up to Deck 4 forward, here is the meeting place, which is near the theater. This is, if you have a group, this would be a venue that you use very often. There are classes being held here, get-togethers, meet and greets, things of that nature. If you are interested in group travel, definitely I suggest working with a travel advisor that is well-versed in it, has a good relationship with the cruise line. If you're a U.S. resident, I can help you with that. But regardless, find yourself a good travel advisor if you have a group. Cruise ships are a great way of team building, reunions, get-togethers, and they're good for corporations as well. Now, we are entering wow factor number 2, located on Deck 4, and it actually goes down to Deck 3 as well, which is the theater. This theater is a little bit different than most. It's a little more circular. I see there's seating on the sides as well. Loved the concept. Loved what they've done with this. The seating was pretty close. Great sight lines. Absolutely breathtaking in the views and what they could do behind the screen. Now, we were recently on the Sun Princess. I have a video up on that. The theater on there, they tried to do something similar, but unfortunately, it was just too round and the sightlines weren't good. I really think Celebrity nailed it with the design of the theater. Now we're walking aft on Deck 4 with the shops at Celebrity. We'll show you a little bit around kind of the things that they have to offer. One of the complaints I get on these videos is some people complain that I show too much of the shops. Again, I show you the shops just so you can have an idea of what's on the ship, what's available to purchase. Very often, the pricing on ships, especially duty-free stuff, is really no bargain. Now, with the internet, everybody can kind of look it up. But I take this as an opportunity so that you kind of have an idea. The ship models are available, different types of clothing. If you forgot something for formal night, so to speak, there are some options here as well. And this is also a great opportunity for me to talk a little bit more about the ship in general. As you kind of walk through the shops, let me just discuss a little bit about Celebrity and children. Now, this being a holiday cruise, there were many more children on the ship than there normally are on a Celebrity cruise. However, it's changing. Celebrity is definitely marketing towards families, younger people. They have kids programs. They're all things to do on the ship. Celebrity is the sister brand to Royal Caribbean, and it was said really well by in a webinar I was watching that on Royal Caribbean you sail for your family or for your kids. On Celebrity you sail with your kids. So that's kind of a good way of determining whether Celebrity is right for you. Not as many kids on the ship, but trust me, there are plenty. Cruising has become younger and younger. Celebrity is certainly not an old folks cruise by any stretch of the imagination. And the Edge class ships in general are very upscale and cosmopolitan. Now this in here is called the Club. This is a really neat venue. During the day, it can serve as a gathering space. They have art classes, some game shows, interactive experiences. You can reserve this for meetings. At night, they also have game shows. They have some live music in here. They have DJ. It's a pretty multi-use venue. The game shows are very high-tech in here, much more than I've seen on any other cruise line. And they also have a speakeasy-style jazz show that we saw when we were there. Really, really neat. Any of the shows on the Beyond, either in Eden, which you'll see later, or the Club here, because it's smaller, get there as early as possible. Hi, Angela. Get here as early as possible and get a really good seat up front. You won't be disappointed. Now, traveling outside of the club, we are walking forward. On the right here is the future cruise desk. This is where you can book an additional or future cruise on board. Usually it's a reduced deposit, and also you generally get some onboard credit. I do recommend checking with your travel advisor before booking on board. There are some limitations now as far as deposits concerned, but I do have many of my clients do book on board. But if you can, just shoot your travel advisor an email early on and see if it may work for you. There is a studio that is separate from any type of photo packages. That's where you would do sit down photographs, formal photographs in a more formal setting rather than the casual ones that they take around the ship. Next to that is the shore excursion desk right here. This is where if you have questions about your shore excursion, have problems, if you want to book them, they have iPads or whatever pads there, and a desk. They can assist you with that right there. Located next to the shore excursion desk is the photo gallery and eye lounge. Now, this is where you would purchase if you needed stuff like GoPro or accessories to your GoPro, memory cards. You purchase that here. This is also where you'll view your photos and purchase your photos if you like. One thing you might notice is everybody just waving and smiling. This cruise was fantastic. It was such a great vibe. Spending the holidays at sea, it was a little bit different, but we really enjoyed it. And there was just such a sense of community among people from all over the world. And you'll see here, they put up this little hopes and dreams wall where you could write on a little sticky note or Post-it and pin it up there. Your thoughts, your hopes, what you were looking for in the new year, maybe a message in memory of somebody. We thought this was really, really nice. It was just a nice touch on especially a holiday cruise. Continuing on deck 4 is Le Voyage. This is a specialty restaurant. It's not included in your dining plan. It is a restaurant by Chef Daniel Boulud. Definitely upscale. We did not try this. We have not eaten in a Daniel Boulud restaurant on a cruise ship, but they are supposed to be excellent. Next to Le Voyage is Le Grand Bistro. This is a French cafe-inspired restaurant. As you can see, they have croissant, they have baguettes, various pastries, lighter fare. This also is not included in the cruise fare. This is an additional cost, and there is a charge for that. There is it's also open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner most days. Continuing our stroll forward on deck 4, this was an area we pretty much hung out in most of the time. Is right outside of Craft's Social Bar. We tried to grab a couple of these little tables where we could. It was a great spot to watch what was going on below us, which at night they often had a singer or they had live music. In here, there's televisions on showing the games, especially New Year's Eve. The alcohol is great. The bartenders and service we here were fantastic. Really, really enjoyed this whole area. There is seating inside, especially if you were watching. You see they have soccer game on. New Year's they had all of the college football games on as well. But we tended to just kind of find a spot outside. That way we could talk, we could do what we wanted, and then see the shows and things like that as well. That was kind of our hangout for the week. Really, really enjoyed that. We're going to continue walking over to the other side of deck 4. Across from the Le Grand Bistro is an area over here. Now you see these tables off to the left here. Also a great spot. You can kind of see everything that's going on. By the way, it's also a great spot to watch the Martini Bar, the Flair bartending show that goes on, and all the events. That's kind of like the main where everything happens. Great sightlines, not an issue. Some of the cruise ships, when you're in that atrium area, the sightlines aren't great. The sightlines on here were fantastic. So, like you said, just grab a seat anywhere along there, and it was great. You could kind of see everything that was going on. Really, really well designed. One of the things we really appreciate about celebrity ships is the number of places we can sit, and Cafe El Baccio never disappoints. This area here on the right you see is plenty of tables and chairs, very comfortable seating, place for people to sit down and have their coffee or whatever they would like. Cafe El Baccio is a small, they have coffee there. You can get your coffee, get your espresso, specialty drinks. They also have various pastries and food that you can get there, light sandwiches, cookies, things of that nature. Great service. Real nice alternative to going to the buffet for breakfast in the morning if you want to grab something, whether it be just a day you spent staying at sea or something quick before you're going on your shore excursion. Now, continuing to walk aft here, there are more shops up here. The shops up on this deck tend to be the little more expensive ones. The FE jewelry, the more expensive pocketbooks and things. Stuff on deck 3 tend to be a little bit more consumer friendly or budget friendly options. Also across from here is the casino. The casino does not have a bar. It shares the same bar with Craft Social. It seems to be a trend that ships are kind of going in. We've noticed that on Princess ships as well. Not my favorite trend in the world. But again, we don't really spend a whole lot of time at the casinos. We'll go in there, we'll play a little roulette every once in a while. Maybe every third or fourth cruise Angela and I are on, we'll go and decide, you know what, let's spend a little bit of money, get some entertainment. Angela can hear the slot machines going ding ding and be very happy. Now, up on deck 4 aft, all the way towards the back of the ship, is the other 2 included restaurants on the ship. Here is a Cyprus restaurant. This is a Mediterranean-themed restaurant. Again, they have the same menus in all 4 restaurants, other than 1 or 2 items that are specific to that region. But if you ask your waiter, if you look at something that's, say, on the Cosmopolitan menu and you want to have it in Cyprus restaurant, just speak to your waiter. They'll be able to help you out with that because they all do share the same kitchen. Here is the Cosmopolitan restaurant. This is more of an American fine dining experience here. One thing I'll mention is that the dress code on Celebrity is a little more strict than it is on other cruise lines, particularly on long pants for gentlemen. They do not allow shorts. I've seen some people ask to go back and to get changed on Celebrity ships, which is something kind of rare. I tend to not really care how other people dress, but just so that you're aware, that's something that Celebrity has. We're up on deck 5 now and going to an area known as Eden. This is the outside promenade area. Not very wide, but a nice spot where you can walk around there. It doesn't go all the way around the ship, I believe. And you go towards the back, which was where we're going, there's actually a ramp that goes up to another level. As we're walking towards the back of the ship, as you can see, it's by far it's not a jogging trail at all. All the way in the back, there's actually a ramp that goes up to deck 6. But we're going to take you inside the venue that's called Eden now. Just announced the Celebrity Xcel is the newest ship that's going to be coming out in the fall. The area known as Eden on that is going to be called the Bazaar. Really interested to see how that works out. It's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more destination oriented. Now, Eden is a large venue. As you can see, we're on deck 5 right now. There's a ramp that goes up to deck 6 there. There's some seating up on deck 6. Looking down on deck 4 is an Eden restaurant as well. This also, unfortunately, is an additional cost. Restaurants not including cruise fare. But this is a really interesting venue. They do hold a lot of events here. It's very large. They did a couple of events here, including the captain's meet and greet. They had that here. They also will do some shows at night. There was an Alice in Wonderland themed show on this that was really, really neat. Very interactive. Like I said, the same thing. Get to these shows in these smaller venues early. Get a good seat. Sit there. One thing I'll warn you about is with these interactive shows, they get very, very close to you. So really pay attention to where you're standing. Don't block aisleways. Try not to get up if you're like sitting right here. If you get seats right there, when they do the shows, you'll almost be part of the show. So you definitely don't want to be getting up and running to the bar and knocking somebody over. Service here was excellent. nice spot. Again, when they didn't have events going on, this was a great place to go. Outward facing is the one thing that's great about these Edge class ships, where a lot of the ships are kind of becoming more like large malls. The Edge class ships, they have a lot of outward facing areas, nice, airy, open with windows. Continuing to walk forward on deck 5, there are a few more venues and shops, one of them being Cartier and Mont Blanc. Now, I said to you earlier to watch your prices on these duty-free shops, but on this cruise, I actually did do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, which is purchase a really nice pen. So I went on, thought about it for the whole 12-day cruise, whether I was going to get this very, very overpriced pen or not. But I do use pens quite a bit, and I treated myself to a really, really nice Mont Blanc pen, which I did not overpay for. It was pretty much similar pricing as I would get on land, maybe a little bit less because I saved a little bit on taxes, but I enjoy it. Now, this restaurant is Blue. Blue is the restaurant that's reserved for people that are staying in Aqua Class cabins. I'll explain Aqua Class a little bit later, but basically Blue is a restaurant you do not need reservations for. It's a very beautiful restaurant. As you can see, the theming is blue. They do have their menus a little bit different than the other main dining rooms. This is included if you are Aqua Class. The options in here are a little bit more healthy choice options, but the nice thing about there is if it's on the main dining room menu, you can order that there as well. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. And it's a little more intimate atmosphere, really nice. We're doing Aqua Class on the Celebrity Silhouette shortly. We've done Aqua Class on the Reflection previously and really enjoyed it. Here is something that's kind of new. It's, I guess, a pop-up chocolatier. Angela kept looking at this. The pricing on the chocolates is really, really, really high. Probably should have treated her to something, but, well, I had to buy a pen. So that makes me a terrible person, doesn't it? Continuing forward, if you've been on a celebrity ship, you know one of their signature things is there's usually an interactive art exhibit, I guess I would say, or some sort of a hallway that is really, really interesting spaces. On one of the ships on the Silhouette, it's almost like an apple orchard theme. Here, it's kind of mirrored, and it's very beautiful. It's very pretty. I don't think I would want to do this if I took maximum advantage of the drink package, because it's a little bit hard to see what's around, especially if it's darker at night. But definitely kind of an interesting space there as well. Nice little space off to the side here that, as you can see, nobody really used it because it's kind of in the middle between shops or shopping areas. No lack of places to buy things on the Celebrity Beyond. You can see Bulgari here. Very, very high-end stuff. Again, I bought that Mont Blanc pen. Out of all the cruises we've been on, we've probably only splurged on stuff like that 2 or 3 times. Maybe Angela will get, if we're on the Disney cruise, get a nice pocketbook, Dooney and Bourke or something like that, something kind of special. But again, a lot of people do. Watches, big thing on cruise ships. People love that are into watches. Will buy them here, and hopefully they're getting good value. But the other thing I'll point out about the shops on these ships is they are not owned by this cruise line. So if you have a problem, you have to deal directly with the shops. So if you come home and something's not what you thought it would be, the cruise line's not really going to be able to help you with that. And there's been some issues with that recently. I don't know how accurate these news stories I've seen are about some of the issues, some of the things that people are saying I really don't believe, but just one of those things to understand that it's not owned by the ship. Up here is Raw on 5. This is a combination sushi and seafood restaurant. Now, Angela and I do not like sushi. My daughter Caitlin does. She loves sushi, so this will be her spot. And it's become a big joke on other cruise lines. It's called Sushi on 5. On here it's Raw on 5. On deck 5 tends to be where the seafood is. Those lobster tails looked absolutely fantastic. We probably should have gone back just to have one of those lobster tails. I do want to point out, though, that Raw on 5 is another one of those specialty restaurants. There is no shortage of specialty restaurants on celebrity cruise ships. Over here is a world-class bar. This is also something that they have on every celebrity cruise ship. This is where you're going to get kind of the higher-end drinks, the top-shelf rums, the handcrafted cocktails, smoked bourbons, things along those lines. I'll talk to you about the drink package now. There are several drink packages. The one of them is the standard drink package, which covers drinks up to, I believe right now it's currently $10 a drink. If you upgrade to the premium drink package, that covers, I believe, drinks up to $17 a drink. Now, there are drinks, some of the martini bar drinks and some of the stuff in the world-class bar, the real high-end rums, are more expensive than $17 a drink. So that will be an additional as well. Again, don't hold me to these prices. The prices change on a daily basis. I even hesitate putting them out there, but I just kind of want to let you know that that exists. Over here is Fine Cut Steakhouse. This is also on 5. As you can see, they have the New Year's Eve menu out. Steakhouse, additional costs, always good on almost every cruise ship we've been on. The only thing that I will say that I was kind of disappointed in is that because it's located so close to that Grand Plaza area, that if it's really loud in the Grand Plaza, it tends to get really loud in the restaurant. I wish it would be a little bit more closed off, so it was a little bit more of an intimate experience. But we did eat here one night. It was fantastic, beautiful. We sat near the window, beautiful ocean views. Pro tip, first day on a cruise, usually the steakhouses will have some sort of a special, whether it be pricing will be less, maybe a free bottle of wine. Generally, it's pretty easy to get into as well. They're not as strict with the dress code. And if you want that close-up window view, that's a great spot to be. We're walking back now, continuing our journey forward. On deck 5 is the art gallery. Now, they do art auctions on board, and as you can see, Angela is saying no, no, no to the art auction. We were on a Norwegian ship a few years ago, probably about 5 years ago now, and we kind of got bit by the art auction bug. We moved into a new house. We bought some artwork that we love. We absolutely love it. It was great, but again, we spent quite a bit of money on the art. Got a original Guy Harvey piece who I love. We got some Thomas Kincaid Disney pieces. Really, really enjoyed it, but we spent way more than we probably should have. Continuing to walk all the way forward on deck 5 is the theater. Now, besides having production shows, they will have other events in the theater. Sometimes there'll be a question and answer with the captain or the executive staff. They'll do things such as they may have comedy in here. They may have different shows like a love and marriage game show. They also do enrichment talks. Now, this is something I really love about celebrity cruises and also princess cruises, is they'll have experts on that'll do talks about various things. Here you can see the Titanic. Looks good on paper. There's an expert on the Titanic explaining things about the Titanic, about the building of the Titanic, the failures. They also, on this particular cruise, because there's Panama Canal, and I will be doing the canal video, be up on the channel as soon as I can. They did enrichment talks about the building of the Panama Canal. Unfortunately, those don't get as attended as I would like. There's so much going on the ship. And also, this is New Year's Eve, so people are probably resting up for the night's activities. I want to show you real quick up on deck 5. This is the club that I showed you earlier. There is plenty of seating up here as well. What I will point out is if you're sitting in those lounge chairs towards the back, you can see that they have a golf driving range, virtual driving range thing going on, which is fun. So much to do on cruise ships. So much. If you're bored on a cruise ship, it's on you. But the one thing I will point out is the viewing from up here. If you're sitting on the lounges that's away from the glass, you really can't see much going on the floor. So great to sit in if it's a DJ or there's music. But if there's something you really want to watch, like a show, that seating on that upper level towards the back is probably not all that great. And through the magic of YouTube, we have transported you instantaneously up to deck 14 aft. This is behind the Ocean View Cafe. Just wanted to point out, great spot to sit and have your breakfast or have a meal and look at the wake. Beautiful views back there. Generally gets a little bit less crowded than other areas in the buffet, but again, know that that's back there. A lot of people miss it. In the back here is the pizza. The pizza is open till late. Generally, it's about 1 in the morning. It's open a little bit later than the regular buffet. There's also a bar back here, the Ocean View Bar. Again, another good spot. Tends not to get too crowded. The buffet is open till a certain time. Usually a couple of hours after the buffet, they do have pizza available. And then also they have a pasta station on most celebrity ships as well. Now I'll walk you around the buffet area, show you some of the food. But what you'll notice right away is, unlike most cruise ships, these edge class ships on Celebrity are really, really nice. Nice wide aisles, beautiful seating, floor to ceiling windows, just plenty of places to sit. Never felt crowded. Usually buffets, particularly on embarkation day, they tend to get jammed. Angela and I, we really never eat lunch in the buffet on embarkation day. We find someplace else. People tend to come here and eat like they haven't eaten in a month, and they're going to the electric chair on embarkation day. So we tend to avoid it. But as you'll see, Celebrity, in my opinion, of all of the mainstream cruise lines, Celebrity is considered a premium cruise line. It is a step up from a Royal Caribbean or a Carnival or Norwegian. It is a premium brand. But for all of the really mainstream, the ones that most people in the United States are familiar with, to us, it's got the best buffet in the world. It's got local favorites from all over the world. There's usually Mexican, there's Indian, there's all kinds of options. They have generally breakfast time. There is English bacon and bangers and just, all kinds of local foods, great choices. There's paella there. As you're looking through, as a matter of fact, on some ships, they actually have a map, a screen that has a map that shows you where everything is so you can find your way around. Also, like I said, plenty of seating areas here, really nice. The food stations are not jammed in close to each other, so you're not really on top of each other. As you look around the buffet a little bit more, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. They aren't easy to produce, but the feedback we've gotten has been absolutely fantastic. If you are getting some value out of this video, if it's helping you out at all to make a decision or make the cruise easier, please hit that like button and also consider subscribing. One, it helps us out, tells YouTube that more people should be seeing our content, and also you'll get notified when we do other videos. Like I said, on this one, we will have a Panama Canal video out. We'll have ones on Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. There are videos on Alaska that we'll be doing. There is a British Isles series up. There's Mediterranean. We do reviews on a lot of ships and a lot of destinations with good, honest advice, not sugar-coated in any way. If there's a problem, we point it out. Now, just showing here at the entrance to the buffet, they had a area with desserts and things like that. They also had a area where they had, you see everything's decorative Christmas time. Really, really nice. Weren't sure how we were going to like a Christmas cruise, being away from the family and stuff like that. We celebrated early, but the atmosphere was really fantastic, and especially with the crew. The crew were not, obviously they're away from their families as well. So any kindness we showed them was just really, really nice. It was just really the spirit of Christmas, being together with so many hardworking, decent people from all over the world. It made for a really, really fantastic holiday. And as a matter of fact, they did a midnight mass service in the main theater, which not only the passengers involved, but the crew was as well. So that was really nice celebrating with them. I'll also talk really briefly about the food quality. Now, Angela and I, generally, we do not get into food quality. People have different tastes. What I might like it spicy, you might not like it spicy, so we don't do that type of review. What I will say is we enjoyed it. We thought it was very good. We thought it was a step up from most cruise lines. On a par with Princess, I would say. The food was served at the proper temperature. It was done properly. If we asked for medium, it was done medium. The serving sizes were nice. They weren't overwhelming, but they were nice, and it was a nice selection. So we enjoyed the food. And again, this is on New Year's Eve. So while it was a little bit emptier inside the ship, we found everybody up here on the pool deck. Now, this is walking forward from the Ocean View Cafe. Again, Ocean View Cafe, food in the back. So food's in the back, fun's in the front. They have some interesting art there, an elephant on somebody's back. But as you can see here, they had some water volleyball going on. Very lively, lots going on. On this particular sailing, it was full. There was a lot of kids. It was at capacity. We didn't have a problem getting a chair. The attendants were pretty good about, if they saw us walking around, finding us a spot. It might not have been the ideal spot, but finding us a spot. So while I'm sure the towel game is in effect, people getting up early, saving a towel, saving a spot. Again, when we did go into the pool, we really didn't have any issues finding a spot. Also, I'll note that the service was very good. This was a nice spot there. It's across from the bar. They had like kind of a little high top bar area. And also kind of lounges there you can sit around. Lots of seating spots, so rather than having all pool there and all loungers, I tend not to like to lay in a lounger. I'd rather that high top area there where you can just have your drink, sit up in like a bar stool type of thing, watch the events and watch what was going on. Now, we're going to walk into an area that's called the Magic Carpet. This is a amazing, amazing venue. You can see it's that orange thing on the side there. If you've seen the Edge class ships, that is a signature. Basically, it's a big elevator that goes from, I think, deck 14, maybe 15, and goes down. It's multi-used. There's a bar there. At night, it turns into a restaurant. It is a specialty restaurant. You have to make reservations for it. It's not included. But also a lounging area during the day. There's a bar, as you can see, people are just kind of hanging out there. Service was excellent everywhere. Very relaxing. The other thing that's nice about this is it serves as a point for the tenders. So if you're in a port where you don't dock at a pier, where you have to actually anchor and then take either lifeboats or tenders back and forth, this whole thing acts as a spot where the lifeboats kind of tether onto, and you step right on. So unlike other ships where you kind of like going up and down stairs and to get onto a tender ship, this was just like walking onto a bus. I mean, or a subway car. It was just really fantastic. Great job with that venue, and a great spot to watch sail away if you can get up there early enough, or just enjoy your day at sea. Also, let me point out that there are cabanas available in this area, kind of off to the side there. Some of them are to rent. The cabanas you can rent, but most of the seating there we see people are. That's not an extra charge. Here is the mast grill. This exists on all Celebrity ships. This is, you see, they have the cart there. Also a nice feature where if you want drinks, soda, a can of beer, something simple, you don't have to wait in a long bar line behind people that are making frozen drinks. That's a great option. But here is the mast grill. Hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken sandwiches. You see everybody just so happy and so smiley, and they just it was a great experience. Great staff on the ship too. But you have this is all included here, so you can get your your drinks or your water, stuff like that there as well. Plenty of seating. Never had a problem sitting down. This is probably where Angela and I do lunch most of the time, where we'll kind of grab a hamburger or a hot dog. Fries are excellent. Oh my God, I love Celebrity's French fries. Continuing forward, this area here is called the Solarium. This is there's a dome on it. It's climate controlled. Generally, the weather is pretty good. Even the temperature of the water is nice, even if you're in a colder climate. This is an adult-only area, although at certain times they will allow families in for a couple of hours. Usually it's in the late afternoon or evenings, but that is subject to change. And also the ages are subject to change. When we were on this particular ship, they were pretty good about making sure that that children were not using it. Nothing against children, but there's plenty of other pools, and it's nice to have an area where we can relax. Now, there's something interesting. I point that out because the maximum for the pool was 17 people. The maximum on the elevators that we got on was something like 24. Now, I think we could fit more people in that hot tub than you can in one of the smaller elevators. But I digress. Great spot. The solarium pool with a couple of hot tubs on the side. That's generally you're going to find me and Angela on most of the cruises. Also back here is the spa cafe and juice bar. The juices are not included. The specialty juices are not included. That's something that there's an additional charge for. But the sandwiches, chicken salad, quinoa, they have turkey sandwiches. Again, a little healthier choice stuff back here. That's all included. And this is also, it's right outside of the spa area as well. Continuing forward on deck 14 is the spa. Right here, you'll see the check-in area. This is all the way towards the front of the ship. This is a two-level venue. Upstairs is the fitness center, but over here is where you will have, there's a barber shop over there on the right. If you're a gentleman looking for a shave or a haircut or a shaved head, shaved haircut like I would need, there's a barber shop there. There's also the salon area. There's a relaxation room. There are spas as well. There's treatment rooms are kind of through that passageway on the other side. That is where you would get your massages or any type of treatments, body treatments that you're looking for there. There is the sea thermal suite through there and a relaxation lounge. The sea thermal suites, don't have a video on that. We did not have Aqua Class membership for this cruise, so and we also didn't really want to go in there and disturb people. I am planning on doing a video on Aqua Class, the experience on the Silhouette shortly. It won't be quite the same, but at least you'll get an idea. In there, you would have your steam room, your heated stone loungers, things like that, rainforest, heat treatments, cold treatments, and the like. But again, all this in here, for the most part, other than that relaxation room, is an additional charge. Right now, we're back up on deck 15, and Angela's upset because deck 15 is home of the retreat. The retreat is Celebrity's ship within a ship luxury experience. On the Edge class ship, supposed to be absolutely fantastic. I have a video of the retreat areas on the Celebrity Silhouette. Look fantastic. Angela and I are hoping to sail on the retreat at some point in the near future. Now, heading to my least favorite area of the ship is the fitness center. We'll walk you around that. It's not too crowded today as being New Year's Eve, but with all those New Year's resolutions, I'm sure the day afterwards on New Year's Day would be pretty crowded. There are, you see plenty of machines here. There's fitness classes, beautiful views. It's all the way in the very front of the ship. I would say it's a medium size. There's weights, there's ellipticals, exercise bicycles, treadmills, things of that nature. Not the largest fitness center I've seen, but not bad. There are also in here studio areas where they'll do different fitness classes throughout the cruise. Now, we're taking up one level to deck 15 and again, transporting you all the way to the rear of the ship. Back here is the rooftop garden, the sunset bar, and the jogging track. Beautiful artwork. The ship in general is just beautiful, very, very well maintained. But as we step out here, you will see the rooftop garden area. The rooftop garden area is, again, it's towards the back of the ship. Beautiful artwork all around the ship. There is a jogging or walking track that I'm trying to avoid right there. Not a very large one. It does not extend to the back of the ship, though. Here again, great areas to look out onto the ocean. There are a couple of tubs up this way, or I guess pools you'd call them, small wading pools with a glass wall. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area. Not too deep. Nice spot to sit, relax. The plunge pools are actually the correct term. My apologies. And then also seating areas down in here that you can use as well. These are not additional costs or anything like that. You use a plunge pool, those seating areas. Again, just great, great spots on the Celebrity Beyond to relax. Continuing towards the back is the Sunset Bar. This is a great spot for us for sail away. Generally, it's one of those areas that people kind of discover a little bit later on in the cruise. We're always looking for that. We're always looking for the spots where people aren't. You'll see that on our videos, whether it's a particular beach or a destination or something like that, or a time that we visit. We tend to try to do enough research in advance. Hopefully you're watching these videos and you're learning that, and you don't overcrowd us on future cruises, all joking aside. But this is a great spot, beautiful sailway. Look at those views from the wake view. If you go down, there is, again, that's the area outside of the buffet area. There's a couple of levels there too, some seating areas there. Generally back this way it gets pretty quiet, especially the bar. You can see there, not a lot of people there. Again, everywhere, great service. But if you're looking to be someplace a little less crowded or a little bit more relaxed, without a whole lot of music and stuff going on, this is a great spot back here. Wrapping around to the port side of the ship. Oh, by the way, if you want to know port from starboard, port has 4 letters, left has 4 letters, starboard has more than 4 letters. So if you think left, left hand. If you look in the front of the ship, the port side is going to be the left hand side of the ship. So that's your useless Jeopardy information for the day. Off to the right here is the rooftop garden grill. Now, again, I feel like I keep saying this. This is not included. It's an additional cost restaurant. The costs vary. I find a Celebrity, the additional cost restaurants aren't crazy, but this has a fantastic steak. I've eaten on these on Celebrity cruise ships probably at least 3 or 4 times. They have a grill where they'll cook right in front of you there. The food's fantastic. They have amazing flatbread appetizer. So I'll usually go there, have a big flatbread and a nice steak. If I'm going there, that's one of those places where I'm really not going to have a big lunch. Over here is another big space. This is the rooftop gardens. You can see there's beautiful gardens there. They do some events back here. Not a whole lot, but they did some events during the day. They do some games and things like that here. That's also a TV screen there. So they do not have the big screen TV in general on most Celebrity ships in the pool area by the Lido deck, by the pool area, but they do have it back in that garden area. So if you want to catch a game or something like that happens to be on, or movies under the stars, which they have very often, that's a great spot. And usually they'll also provide blankets back in that area if it's a little bit chilly. Now, looking forward, we are still on deck 15. Now we are midship, looking down on deck 14. This is, again, you see that green area is the quote-unquote jogging track or walking track. Not sure how great that works out. Ping pong tables off on the left there. These kids enjoying themselves playing ping pong. But this jogging track actually goes from deck 15, kind of ramps up to deck 16. A great idea, but you really can't stand here when people are trying to get their walking in. The walking of the jogging track kind of goes all the way up to deck 16 and kind of wraps around that way. But this was a nice spot when we were in the Panama Canal. We hung out up here and were able to see the see the canal and see the locks. This is a pretty good spot to watch it from. The other spot that we liked was that Sunset Bar. That was a great spot to watch, to see the Panama Canal in. But like anything else, Panama Canal Day, and I'm going to do a separate video on that. You get in there pretty early, and you're going to want to get up to your spots even earlier to get a good view of going through those first locks. Now, up here on deck 16 forward, we're going to make Angela sad again. That is the retreat area back there. Now, on the Edge class ships, the retreat really is a kind of a ship within a ship concept. Back in there is the restaurant. Hi, Angela. Back in there is the restaurant Lumine, which is exclusive to retreat guests. There's also a sun deck up there, and who knows what else is behind that glass door. If you've been in the retreat on the Edge class ships, let us know in the comments below. One thing I always like to point out on Celebrity ships, really nice thick towels, and you don't have to sign them in or out. They trust you that if you're spending this amount of money on a cruise ship, that you're not going to steal one of their $10 towels. And we're continuing to walk on, this is deck 16. That ramp goes up to deck 16 around the corner here by the walking track and the jogging track. As recalling it now, the Magic Carpet does actually go up to deck 16. I don't think we ever saw it actually this high as it was on deck 16. But again, lots of lounges here and a great spot. This is another decent spot to watch the Panama Canal or sail in, sail away, whatever, what have you. Great spots up here to watch things from as well. The mess bar up here, another great spot to get your drinks. Again, not too crowded, kind of out of the way. A deck up from the pool area. And this is, again, on deck 16 forward. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. We try to keep it a little bit shorter than this, but in all honesty, ships this large, you really need almost an hour to really get a good walkthrough and get a feel for the size of the ship and the space and the scale and the venues. We hope this video has helped you. If you're planning on going to Celebrity Beyond or thinking about going on Celebrity Beyond, we love cruising. We love sharing it with other people. We hope that you've gotten some information that have helped your cruising experience a little bit better. And again, if you have gotten value, please hit that like button. It helps us out. Comment below if you've been on a celebrity cruise before, whether you've liked it, whether you've disliked it. We always like hearing feedback and comments about your experiences. And again, if you could please subscribe to the channel, it lets Facebook know or YouTube know that this type of content should be shown to other people. The support we have gotten has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. And on behalf of Angela, we'll see you on our next adventure. Bye-bye, everybody.